everyone. Welcome to our latest video series, The Road to Exchange. I'm Kirsten Chang, Senior Industry Analyst at VettaFi, and I'm so excited to be joined today by Jennifer Morgan, founder and CEO of Connective Communication. Jennifer is also an award-winning international coach, mentor, and partner. Jennifer, thrilled to have you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Kirsten. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today.
First off, I want to mention you've had quite the illustrious career already. You've worked at Credit Suisse, Citigroup in the COO office, spent a decade at JP Morgan, where you served as sales coach and global head of technology training. And then, of course, you founded Connective Communication. So tell us about your own road to success and what makes you so passionate about this industry of coaching.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to share. Really, in terms of what I did in my previous jobs, I wanted to extend that value proposition, democratize ideas, tools, and templates to elevate the voices of professionals more globally. So in terms of what I was doing in my previous roles, it was very important for me to, as a presentation, communication, and sales specialist, really help to partner with revenue generators to increase our market share through formats, templates, things that I've curated over working with 40,000 plus people in 16 different countries around the world. So I absolutely love seeing the transformation of someone who is a subject matter expert, fantastic at their job, literally go from good to great. It's very, very important to me, the focus being on the value-based solutions that people can come up with that are unique to those prospects and clients they deal with every day.
Absolutely. So let's dive into it. What is connective communication? I always say communication is key to any successful relationship, business, romantic, or otherwise. You yourself are all about elevating communication and empowering leaders and individuals to really inspire and leave a lasting impression on others. So tell us more about that approach.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So I'm really passionate about subject matter experts sharing their knowledge with brevity and being concise. So really curating deeper relationships to focus on solutions that will be of a value add and unique to that individual. Oftentimes what happens in communication from experiences, we tend to steamroll people with our ideas versus taking a moment and asking those open-ended questions to deepen their relationship. Dynamic dialogue, having great open-ended questions, understanding what we can do in order to be the solution to any of those problems or possible ideas that people may have to elevate them in terms of how they work with their clients.
Well, we're very excited for your workshop coming up, Escape the Sea of Sameness, which advisors can get CE credit for attending, by the way. So give us a little taste of what to expect there. How can advisors make themselves stand out in such a crowded field and really provide that value add for their clients?
Fantastic. Excellent. So in terms of what they can do to stand out, it's really how do you prepare, share, and care, which is going to be the highlighted theme of Escape the Sea of Sameness. So it's really allowing prospects and clients to understand what your value proposition is. Oftentimes we say that possibly performance as well as process could be similar in terms of how portfolios are constructed or how you're delivering the information. But what's unique to you is how you stand out as an individual. It's the 3 pillars of the 5 pillars of Morningstar: people, process, and performance. Process and performance may be similar to others that are dealing with you. So in terms of that, it's the people that really distinguish themselves, and what you do in terms of how you prepare for the meeting, what you do during the meeting, and importantly, what you do after the meeting will literally help you to stand out and be unique and show how you are different from others.
Yeah, and what's also interesting is you're big on keeping up with cutting edge research and using these neuroscience-backed tools and methodologies to really go deeper on a behavioral level. Can you give an example or tell us a bit more about that?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, for example, people often talk about storytelling. So what is storytelling essentially? Storytelling is a way for you to actually tell a story. If someone's actively listening to you, there's different levels of listening. Level 1 is where I say something, you say something to counter it. So let's say hypothetically, Kirsten, you're climbing a mountain. I said, oh, you climbed a mountain yesterday. Well, I went kayaking for 10 miles. So it's where you have that equal exchange, pun intended, of information. Level 2 listening is where you share something with me, Kirsten. You're located in the Bay Area, as you told me in the preempt to this. And I'll say, oh, that's very interesting. How long have you lived there? A deepening question so we can curate a dialogue. Level 3 listening is where no time has passed. It's that moment where you're in the zone and you feel like there's that ultimate connection. When one person is telling a story to another person, what happens is literally the cortex of the brain connects with the cortex of the other person's brain. So it's called neurocoupling. The brain of the delivery person and the receiver, the speaker and the listener, is literally on the same wavelength. It's actually a very powerful narrative. What happens oftentimes is we tend to, in financial services, we share performance stats, we share processes, we have these slides that are inundated with a lot of information. Essentially, though, speaking in headline language, as well as using the power of the story to connect people on a cerebral level is helpful for you to have imagery that can be curated so people can walk away remembering what you told them based on their own associated experiences.
I love that. Neuroconnecting. Are there any particular talking points or topics you recommend advisors kind of use as their go-to when attempting to connect with a client, or any that perhaps they should avoid?
Fantastic. What a great question. So in terms of, I would suggest that they actually do what I call BRIC. So BRIC stands for Be Ridiculously Inquisitive for Client Knowledge. It's a methodology I created many years ago. You want to find out as much as you can in advance of that meeting before you meet the client. So for example, Kirsten, I know you mentioned that you looked me up on LinkedIn. I also did the same. I joke around as professional stalking everyone, which is completely okay because you want to be as prepared as possible with talking points or questions in advance of the meeting. Making sure that you're taking thorough notes to reference what has been shared with you during the meeting is really important. Both personal and professional, you want to in future be able to refer to those important stats. I will have questions for you based on what I've researched about you, and I'll ask you things to deepen the relationship. So those open-ended questions, specifically the what questions and the how questions. I like to always joke, ask your why, don't ask others why, because when you ask the word why, people naturally get defensive. So really focus on those deepening open-ended questions in terms of what do you say when someone says how you're doing. I could say, for example, I'm very excited because I just helped close an $8 billion asset under management deal last year, which is true, with one of the clients that I work with. So you always want to have something in your playbook or your back pocket to share that will connect you with the client.
That's very sage advice. Yes. Before we wrap up here, just final takeaway. What about Exchange most excites you? What are you most looking forward to in just a few weeks' time?
Wonderful question. The most powerful connection you can have is the in-person connection. So the community effervescence essentially is when you go to a sporting event, when you go to a concert, when you're meeting people in mass in groups, it naturally brings you into a more positive, elevated state. So simply just showing up at the exchange, naturally everyone there is for one goal and one purpose. And truly, it's everyone that's going to be attending has an incredible energy shift in terms of their growth mindset. So it's a great opportunity for all of the advisors to earn, as you mentioned before, Kirsten, a CE credit, learn from industry experts, and also they can meet incredible sponsors. So it's really the ultimate conference experience culminating in hyper connectivity for the entire ETF community.
I love that. Hyperconnectivity, community effervescence. That's right. Feeding off the energy of those around you, which is why it's so important to do these in person. All right, terrific. Well, we'll leave it there. Jennifer, thanks so much for joining me on the Road to Exchange. Look forward to your panel and to seeing you in Vegas.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for the invitation. Everyone, make sure you attend and have fun while you're at it.